Hey friends, Jim here with Philly Fixed. I'm excited to have the Maka 7-in-1 Pro Laser Measure Tool. This is something that's about to launch on Kickstarter from Maka. They contacted me, asked if I'd like to do a review, and when I saw how many features this thing was claiming to have all in one little tool, I kind of said, yeah, I've got to take a look. So basically it's got a laser distance measure in it, as you may guess from the name. It also has a cross-line laser level. It has an AC current detection probe. It has a wood moisture meter. It has a stud finder, wood stud finder. It has a metal object detection for things like water pipes and wires in your wall. It's also got a thermal camera, which is a little module I'll show you in a minute that you plug into the side. And of course, any multi-tool would not be complete without a flashlight. So let's take a closer look at all the features in here, see if they all really do what they say they're going to do, and see if it's something that you should back on Kickstarter. Okay, so let's take a look at what you get in the box. You actually get a really nice zipper case. It's got like a fabric outside, but it's kind of sturdy. Inside the case, you get a pocket that has the user manual in it, and it has an included USB cable. It doesn't come with a wall brick, but takes any USB-A wall brick for charging. You get a nice folding tripod. This actually feels sturdy. It's made of aluminum, and this does have a tripod mount on the back, so you can mount it to do cross-line laser measuring and stuff like that. Then you also have a tripod extension, which is pretty cool. You have a nice pouch pocket where this fits in there nice and snug, has a cover on it to keep it safe in transport. And then it does have a thermal camera, and this is the module. You'll notice it has two USB connectors on the side of the unit. There's actually two USB ports. And if you look at the instruction manual or even just the icons on here, you'll see that one does data and charging, the other one just does charging. So you just plug this guy in, make sure you have the little rubber thing out of the way so it fits in snug, and then you've got your thermal camera plugged in. So let's look at the features. One thing I noticed right out of the box, there's no power button. You just hit one of the buttons and it turns on, and then you can actually set it to auto power off after a certain number of minutes. By default, when you turn it on, it actually has a feature where it has a speaker in it and it tells you what function you're selecting. So if I pick measure or the level here,
horizontal measure.
I'm not a big fan of that. I don't really want it talking to me. So you just go back into the settings,
Function menu.
and then there's a little speaker icon. And you can use the touchscreen or the arrows, hit down, hit off. Once you get back there, now when you pick one of these functions, it's not gonna announce it to you. So that's the first thing I did. But as you can see, it has like a simulated bubble level. And of course, because I'm pointing it at the camera, you can see it's not level in that direction. But if I put it flat on the surface here, it's actually showing that it's remarkably level considering I just put this in my jaw horse and my garage floor sucks. Then we have a moisture meter, okay? So you can pick the moisture meter. Now, to use the moisture meter, you flip it over, there's an orange button here, and that ejects the little moisture meter probe. You take that, you put it back in the bottom, and you got your two prongs, and I fat fingered this. Now, if I jab it through the paint on this scrap piece of wood, you can see I'm getting 11.7, 11.8% moisture. And then of course you can just push this button again for it to come out, stow it back in the bottom. So that's one of your functions. We have the laser line level. What I will say is you pretty much have to use the bubble display on here to make sure that the tool itself is level. Then you can use the cross-line laser to make sure that whatever you're working on is level. So it's not self-leveling, but it does give you the simulated bubble level to make sure that you have the tool level before you rely on the laser to level your workpiece or whatever you're working on. So that's pretty nice. In addition to that, we also have a distance measure, and you can pick single measure, you can pick constant measure. Let's see what constant measure does. So constant measure just continuously records as the distance changes, whereas single measure, pretty self-explanatory. You hit the button to turn the laser on once, and then once you get the point in space you want to measure a distance, you hit it. It gives you 1 foot 8 3/8 inch. You can also change it to metric. That's how this comes by default. You go into the settings to change that. There's other measure functions. Basically, you can scroll through them, and it'll give you, addition. So if you want to measure a bunch at once. Okay, I got my first one. I got my second one, so it adds them up for you. So that's kind of nice. It has subtraction measure. It has perimeter, volume, Pythagorean theorem, double Pythagorean theorem. So lots of options. One of the other things it has AC current detection. It says AC measure on the screen. There's a little orange switch on the side here that you slide out. That's your probe for the AC current measurement. I have my extension cord that's actually running my camera and my studio light right now. So you have 3 sensitivity modes. Right now it says sensitivity H, so that's high sensitivity. So you can see with an extension cord like this, at least, I still got to get pretty close. Now if I rotate it, I'll probably get the live hot conductor on the right side. So you can see it has a little LED in the corner, and it has a meter on the screen that gives you the strength of the signal. So again, I got to get pretty close, even on the high sensitivity mode. So I'm curious if I change it to the low or the medium sensitivity. Let's see what it gives me. See now, not even giving me anything on medium, but if I flip the cord around, it even tells me kind of what side of the cord the hot conductor is in this cable. But that's on medium sensitivity. So on low, barely registering, the LED's not turning green, and the meter barely affected. So looks to me like maybe you don't want to use the low sensitivity on this particular device, at least with an extension cord like that. I also noticed that the blink rate of the red LED varies with the strength. So you can look at the screen or you can look at the red LED. So that is your AC current detector. All right, so we're going to put our thermal camera here. You can see the blue area right where the cold air supply is on the mini split. Now, if you hit the up and down arrows on here, you can change pure thermal all the way down to the actual image camera. So you can kind of mix to get the mix of real image and thermal readout that you want. But you can see it's giving me like 50 some degrees there, but if I go up to the ceiling, 72, 73, 75, 76. You can see that blue spot is in the 50s. Pretty cool. So my house has a lot of weird construction in it because it was built in the 1800s and then added on to in the 70s and the 1920s. So I don't have a lot of walls that are just regular modern drywall and regular studs. This is my guest room. It is regular modern drywall, but behind it are 1800s studs that are really like 3 inches wide, but there should be one right about here. So let's see what happens. I've got it on stud mode. And on this tool, you've got stud mode, which gives you about 3/4 of an inch. They list it as 20 millimeters, which is a little more than 3/4 of an inch of detection depth. Or you have deep mode, which is 38 millimeters or about 1.5 inches. So we'll start on regular 3/4 inch depth mode, which should get through this drywall, and we'll see what happens. So you always want to start, if we give it a closer look, you always want to start back at the menu, start over, get that screen while it's up on the wall, and then we should get it pretty close. Yep. right there. See, it's giving me a little icon that shows a block of wood, and then as I move it away, it drops off, and as I move it back, right there. There's my wood stud. All right, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is this something that you're going to keep an eye out for on Kickstarter? Are you going to buy one? Personally, I think they managed to pack a lot into a very small package. I think each of the features is pretty effective, and it's definitely something I'm going to keep in the house. I don't know about you guys. I have a detached garage, so sometimes the right tool is out here. I need it in there. And maybe I'm lazy and try to take a shortcut just because it's raining out. I don't want to walk all the way out here. So if I can keep this in the tool drawer in the kitchen, I should have a lot of things that I would maybe use once in a while that I don't feel like coming out here to get. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And this will be available soon if it isn't already. But my name's Jim. What's my name? My name is Jim with Philly Fixed. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one.
I mean, I'm not, again, I'm not a beautiful man or anything.